Alrighty, good Monday. How's everybody doing? It was a long and hot weekend, and what we got for you today is basically a Monday Q&A. So, kind of was doing a little recouping today. Was going through some emails, some messages that I got, and I got a bunch of questions. Really, it's some of them are even older than over the weekend. I'd say, maybe even a month old. And I just haven't really addressed any of the stuff. And that's what the intent was, is people want me to answer it on here. So some of them, I got some written down here, are going to be very simple. And some of them could be a little boring. But I figured we'll go through that together, and we'll just see how this goes. So to start off, this one I get quite a bit, and this is, what are your top 5 special edition kits? So that's a good question. So the top 5 that I really enjoy and I like at the moment would be this 49 Merc. Of course, you can't forget about this guy here, the 68 Charger. This 57 Chevy Black Widow kit. One of my favorites, 68 Dodge Dart. And then, of course, 62 Chevy Impala. These are probably my top 5 special edition kits this month. Let's just say that. I would say for the most part, these were the top 5 that I wanted to acquire. I would love to have every one of them. I don't even know the whole listing of how many there actually are. And I have a few others that are special to me too. But these are the top 5. Number 2, who do you like better, NHRA or IHRA? So I'm assuming that this question's coming up because of all the drama going on with IHRA. Me personally, I've always preferred street racing. So, but if I had to pick one of them, it's NHRA. Never been a fan of IHRA. This stuff that's going on nowadays with IHRA, I feel has always been there. It's just now with social media, you're seeing more of it and more people know of it. To me, there's always been problems with the sanction body on making some, let's just say, knee-jerk reactions and decisions. So that one there is I could really go down a rabbit hole on that, but we're not. Let's see. What is your favorite style of racing, drag or oval? So that is a good one. So my family has been big on both. In one-to-one form. I would say it's equal for me. I love drag racing and I love oval racing. There's something about having a car hung out in the corner, and there's something about just having a car, stand up and go down the drag strip, and just feel that G-force. So I would say it's 50-50 for me. There's probably some other people in my family that might favor one over the other, but not me. Number 4, what is the soldering iron brand that you like to use for brass? Me personally, I have a Hucko and I also have a Weller. To me, those two have been very reliable, because I don't just use them for modeling. I use them for all of the RC, all the slot car stuff. So I guess I would say I've spent a little bit more money on the iron so that I have more control of setting the temperature for different projects. And then the availability of tips, that to me is huge. Where can you get spare parts? Is the availability? very accessible, whether it's local or online, so that you can get back up and running if you torch a tip or something, or drop it. So number 5, I get this one a lot. For your brass cages and chassis in your models, what do you use, tube or rod? I use a mixture of both. In some areas where you might get a little crafty with, say, a bend on top of a bend and then another tight one, sometimes the rod has been a little bit better to maintain shape, but the tube is a lot easier to bend, and it's a little more forgiving too. You don't have to use a lot of pressure or effort. But I use a mixture of both. Number 6. Let's see. I can't even read my own damn writing. Oh, yeah. That's what that stands for. How much longer do you think you will be on YouTube? That's a good question. To be honest with you, I really couldn't tell you. I mean, realistically, after I go to Acme this year, you might not see much model content on this channel. It might switch over to strictly one-to-one after October. So there's always the possibility of change, and that's kind of going to lead to the next question. So realistically, this realistically might be the last 48-hour group build that I participate in, and some of the others. Last year I did not participate in the USAC build because I was trying to get stuff done from last year or the prior year, and so I don't even know if I'll be in the USAC build this year either. So the other one was about YouTube is, how much do you make on YouTube? And that is a fat zero. Fat zero. I do not want anything to do with that, because again, this is work, and this is effort, and this is time, and I'm trying to keep this all fun, and so I'm not interested at all about that whole monetized thing. I think if you're to chase down numbers, you got to, like any business, you got to invest in it. You can invest a lot of money to get your subscriptions to spike up faster to get to the monetized level, and then you can also then take that money back, revert that back into YouTube as well, and push your videos even further to get larger monetization money down the road. So you have to treat it as a business if that's what you're looking to do, to create a channel. The individuals that ask me this now are looking at starting channels. So it's all of what you want to do with it. But me personally, that's not what it's about. If I decide to walk away, I'm just going to walk away. 8 is, why don't you get as many builds done as other channels? Well, that's a good question. And I'll tell you flat out, because I build the stuff the way I want to build it, and my time is a little bit more restricted because I do have so many hobbies, and I'm also much further away from my place of employment. So you can tack 2 hours a day to whatever hours I work just for drive time. So there's days where you get home and there's other things to do around here, and I just don't get the bench time. And this is relaxation for me to build these things, and I want to do them the way I enjoy them, I guess is the best way to say that. And then number 9 is list from 1 to 5 your favorite base paint. Now, I'm assuming what this person means is that the base being, say, aka lacquer or enamel or whatever. So if that's correct, and if not, please message me again. If I had to do that, I would say urethane, enamel, lacquer, and then acrylic would be my 1 through 4. I love urethane paint. I love enamel. I don't have all the issues that a lot of people have with enamels. There are some properties to enamel that I think heal better and level out better. And I've had really good luck over many years with enamel. When you think about testers back in the day, that was all enamel, and that stuff, once it dried, it would be really good. You could color sand it, polish it out. It was really good stuff. So I like that as well. And then number 10 was, do you have a top 5 in Johan kits? To be honest with you, I've never really thought about it. I probably have 10 Johan kits. Some of them are duplicates. For sure, I would have to say the 69 Roadrunner would be the top one. Anything Sox and Martin. As far as I know, there was 2, the Cuda and the Superbird. Maybe there was another I'm not sure of. They had some like 64 Dodge, the Comet Pro Stockers. I don't have a Javelin, so I have to say that would be on the list. What else? The Richard Petty Superbird, I've never had that one either, but that would probably be one on my list too. Like I said, I really don't. There's things about Johan that I just really don't like, but their bodies are top notch. The detail, the accuracy, the scale is really good on Johan bodies. So it's crazy how even as a kid those kits were little on the less desired compared to some of the other brands that were available that had, especially 2-in-1s that had multiple combinations of parts and tires that you could get in one kit, where the Johans were pretty basic. The other thing that I always hated about the Johans was the multi-piece tires that you'd have to glue together. I never really cared for that in the Johans back in the day. Like you said, we didn't have 3D printing back then, so we just didn't have all the parts. So that was a big thing for me back then. And then the number 11 was, what are your future endeavors if you're done with models? Well, future endeavors I think would kind of go with the same one back here, where it's how long will you be on YouTube? To be honest with you, I don't really know how to answer that, because I got into models at 6. I built models all the way through my teenage years, and then got in a mixture of that and RC and slot cars. But then when we started buying and getting 1-to-1 cars, that took front and center. It's the old story, you get your driver's license, you want a set of wheels, you want to go chase down the girls, all that stuff. So that was at the top of my list. And then of course building the car to go faster and faster. So you just kind of took a break. I probably didn't start building models again until 2003 or 2002-ish, when the slot car track was switching the drag cars stuff over to hard body. There was a big push, and there was a bunch of us 1-to-1 guys that were looking for something to do in the winter time. And so then that kind of rejuvenated me back into models. But to answer it a little bit better, is I've always collected a model here and there throughout all the years. I probably would buy maybe 5-6 models a year all the time. If I seen something that I really wanted, I'd throw it in there. So when I got back into this 3 years ago, started this channel, I probably had 150 models. And now I would say, I think when we counted them out, there's like 360 models here. I don't have a huge stash. Everybody likes to think that I got this conglomerate stash. I do have a lot of Dusters and Demons, and those are the majority. So I have a lot of duplicates of same models, but I don't have these gigantic stashes. Somebody once said, oh, you know, he's Mr. Moneybags, he probably has 2,000 models. I do not have nowhere near that. Not at all. I don't have no more than 400, and I know it's more than 350 and it's less than 400. That's fact. So this was another one too that was on this page here, third page. So what got you into Chrysler products versus getting into Fords or Chevys? Wouldn't Chevy be more accessible for a young man? Yeah, yes and no. Yeah, I would say all of my friends, majority of them were Chevrolet. I had a couple guys that were Ford-based guys, and that was because of their fathers having Fords. My family has been big in Chrysler products, so it was just natural for me to get into Chrysler products. I've always loved the Chrysler products. That's not saying I don't like certain Chevrolets and I don't like certain Fords. Again, if I was to own a real one-to-one Chevrolet, the two body styles that I love the most are your 55 Chevy and then your 67 Nova, your Chevy 2s. As far as Fords, I love the Fairlanes. I like the older Fairlanes. Those are probably my favorite. And then you get into some of the Comets. Those are my favorites, the older stuff. If I had to pick somewhat newer of a Ford, it would be in the 90s Fox body. There's certain ones. I like the notchback Fox. I used to have a notchback Fox. Chevrolet, newer stuff, really, Chevrolet kind of lost me after 69, I would say. Yeah, I mean, there's just, the IROC Camaro is a neat car, just nothing that I could see myself ever wanting. Then a lot of the newer Camaros, when you got more of the buggy eyes, I just didn't like those cars. So that took a turn for me. Oldsmobile would probably be a different GM. That certain 442s I liked. Buick Grand National, loved the Buick Grand National. That was a really neat car. But for the most part, I mean, everybody in the family, all my aunts, uncles, cousins, grandfathers, I mean, everybody was Chrysler product stuff. So it was just natural to fall in love with Chrysler stuff and go forward. So that's going to do it for all the questions. Thank you for everybody that sent those questions. I hope that was clear enough answer. What do we got here? We're 17 minutes in, so I think I wasted enough of everybody's time. As far as 48-hour group build, we've got a lot to do around here. We have not been around for 3 days, so the bench is an absolute disaster. So I've got to just clean that up and get ready for the 48-hour group build. It is probably going to either be the Nova that seemed to be the landslide win in the vote, or I might make the executive call here and do the Nomad, the 16 Nomad Chevy wagon, being that it's curbside. I have a few things that I have to do this weekend as well, so I would kind of like to make sure whatever I pick that I can try and achieve to get it done, so that it's not another project that's in the way. So that's going to be the selection, probably either between the Nomad or the Nova. We'll see as we get closer. Thursday, I was planning on making a video probably Thursday to kind of discuss my my plans for 48-hour group build. So again, thank you to all the fine questions. I really appreciate that, and hope you enjoyed the day. Hope you're staying cool if it's hot like it is here. I hope you're staying cool, stay hydrated. Remember, like, subscribe, leave me a comment. Doesn't cost you a dime. We're not making no money here. This is all for fun. This is more of a vlog, and that's how I've always treated this thing, as a vlog of something to do, to put something out there that is non-political. So, and that could almost be part of what was that question? How long do you think you will stay on YouTube? Depends on the YouTube politics. They make changes all the time to benefit their website and their platform, and you've seen other channels leave because of it. So you just never know for any of us, right? YouTube could make changes in the future that you could see a lot of channels leave. So it is what it is. It's one of those unknowns. But anyhow, enjoy the rest of your day. Peace out, everybody.